Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rain and Bell Show, episode 5, with myself, James Raine of the North East Non-League Show.
I'm me, Dan Bell of DB30 Sports TV.
We've just been chatting there, Dan, before we came on about, I think it was July, the last time we've done a show, but loads and loads and loads happening since our last show on and off the field for many sides. But I think tonight we're going to start with yourself, Dan, and Gateshead. Obviously, great managers come and go, but 2 in a row now, like you say, just getting a good manager in, doing very well, and high league clubs coming in. So what's your thoughts on the latest one?
It's come as a bit of a shock, I'm not going to lie. It was obviously disappointing for us. I mean, obviously I'm delighted for them. You got 3 great coaches, but above all else, great guys. Getting a chance to test themselves at League One level. So I cannot begrudge them of that at all. But we're seeing it, time and time again, that this club always, comes through adversity, like no matter what's thrown at us, and I've got faith that can be the case once again. Obviously we've got at the minute Ben Clark, Greg Ollie, Jacob Butterfield running things, so you've got 3 dedicated professionals there that kind of know how the club sort of ticks on a day-to-day basis. So for the time being, we're in safe hands, but hopefully the situation can be sorted soon. We can move on, but I'm sure, given what we've achieved over the last 3 years or so, the caliber of squad that a new manager could inherit, I'm sure they'll won't be short of applicants and people being interested in taking over.
Definitely, I think it would be nice for the Gateshead fans to know the transfer window as well, because obviously saying the last time Williamson comes and takes a lot of the players off loan to then sign for MK Dons at the time, but obviously now with the transfer window kind of not open, it gives a new manager time to come in, work with the players, and hopefully them players to build that trust with the new manager, hopefully to try and get promoted, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously we'll probably find out a bit more about what the actual crack is with the situation regarding the lease of the stadium. What have you? Is it going to be like Super? I mean, I think the EFL have changed the rules regarding going from a 10-year lease to a 5-year lease, which will hopefully help. But I'll just find out. I'll have to find out in due course. But it's going to be a transition. I think we all know that. And obviously, a new manager's going to come in. We've got to respect the fact he might have his own ideas, which might sort of differ from what we've become accustomed to over the last few years. But we'll just see how it goes. I think whoever comes in definitely deserves a chance, and that's been a good thing about Gateshead over the last few years. So obviously Mike was given a chance when obviously he'd maybe had a bit of a sort of ropey-ish start. Obviously Rob Elliott didn't get off to the best of starts in his tenure as well. So it will take time, but I think again we will come out the other side stronger for it eventually.
Definitely. Many thanks everyone that's watching so far. Like I say, we just come on these shows, have a general chit chat. So any questions, any thoughts on what we're chatting about at the time, get them in the comments as well. But like I say, Dan, I think July the last time we did a show. I mean, what's been going on the channel?
What's been going on the channel? I think obviously I think we're sort of in the middle of pre-season at that sort of time, weren't we? It was maybe getting towards the end of it, like the Northern League just starting. So I've obviously started going to a few Northern League games again. Done quite a few in Division 2. I've done a couple in Division 1. Obviously the National League's got going again. I had my little trip to America, which I was able to take that game at the Orlando City B team in, which was quite an interesting experience, but enjoyable all the same. And so obviously I think one of the things I wanted to do this year was get a bit more variety onto the channel, to be honest, because I know obviously apart from when I do my trips abroad and what have you, it can get quite Gateshead and Northern League heavy. So just trying to maybe fit a few more Football League games in, going to the NPL a few more times. Obviously at some point visit all of the local National League North clubs. So there's going to be maybe 1 or 2 different things to come on a channel this season, but I think it can be once again a very decent season for Channel. Hopefully, enjoy a lot of success with Gateshead. Obviously, got that trip to Hampden with Motherwell to look forward to in about a month's time. So there's a lot to be excited about, and as well, just got to the Football Content Awards again.
Yeah.
So the fingers crossed that maybe this time I can walk away with some kind of accolade in my hands. But I've seen your numbers are well on the up. You've
Crazy.
you're doing things seem to be going quite well for you at the minute, it seems.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, well, the plan was before the start of the season, I think I did about 10, 12 vlogs last year, and I just want to kind of match that, but I think I've done 10 vlogs already. I don't know where they came from, but it's been actually quite nice. I mean, managing to get a few shift slides at work, and obviously helping out with West End now and getting around a little bit. So, I mean, so far this season, I think we've been at Wolverston, obviously Chester Street United, Sun West End, Billingham, so it was a nice trip up there as well. But the two big ones, obviously Chester Street Town a couple of weeks ago as well, which is a cracking ground and really nice to meet people at. You talk to on the channel as well, which has been really good. And Bishop and Crook was two massive and great occasions for the family, to be honest. I know obviously we raised a lot of money for the DFib for the charity game that we did, and Bishop obviously invited us up to come back as mascots. It was the FA trophy on the day. But the kids just absolutely loved it, walking out as the mascot until she got stung. So he got stung on the ear walking out, which didn't help. So came running over, but it was absolutely brilliant. And like I see, I kind of thank Steve enough. And I mean, the goalkeeper gives some goalie gloves to Parker and stuff like that, which was amazing. Not the best result for Bishop, which I think we'll get on to a bit shortly. And then literally the week afterwards, getting invited up to Crook off the manager Matty as well to walk out with the players for FA Cup game. And I always say, and I always mention it to my kids as well, and I think there'll be a lot of kids like with the parents kind of chat about the FA Cup, and I think a lot of them will kind of see when it starts on BBC, ITV, when it's like round 4, when the big boys come in, and they think that's the FA Cup and that's the magic. But it starts now, doesn't it? Like you say, one game at the season, and it's FA qualifiers. It starts quite early. That's where the magic starts. So it was quite nice to show, obviously, the kids this is the FA Cup, and we were kind of waiting to come out the tunnel, and the man just put on these gloves, and he kind of said to the two kids, "What do you think's in this box?" And even I was like, "Oh, what is it?" And literally just pulled the FA Cup out. And I mean, the kids were like, "Wow!" But even I was like, "Wow, the FA Cup!" But it was just nice to just get down to that level. And even he was so proud of it. He was just literally walking around the outfield of the Crook pitch with this FA Cup, and people getting selfies with it and everything as well. So that's been really good. But just getting out and about, so that, and you'll agree with it yourself, Dan. I mean, we put a lot of hard work in our channels. Like I say, we get out a lot of matches, the amount of travel that you do as well, and it's been nice to get out and a few people just coming up and saying, "Hey, really nice to meet you, love your channel," and just appreciate the work that we're doing for the North East Non-League. And I know the programme the other night that I seen, put your details in, just absolutely amazing, really. That, like you say, people are thanking us for the work that we do, but lots coming up. Very busy with the channel, but obviously my football coach as well, just starting to get back into that. And Sun West End as well on the committee. I know we've got our game next Friday night against Washington. A bit of a thank you game, so we invited all our kind of sponsors down, pitch side sponsors, our Club 25 members, putting a little bit of hot food to them, and it's just to say thank you for kind of sponsoring the club this season, trying to get all the youth teams down to walk out and just trying to break these attendances, because it's so hard down at the hub. I mean, most of the time we get between 80 up to 100 maximum. We just want to try and break that 200 barrier. Obviously, Sunderland's not playing its international weekend, and hopefully with the sponsors and the youth teams down, it's gonna be massive, not just for the club but for the area, and trying to get it back. So you know yourself, Dan, if you have a football club in the area, it's a hub for teams, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think obviously at this level, it doesn't matter how sort of big your sort of catchment area is. You are kind of the staple of your community. It's like this Friday night, obviously it's Northallerton against Redcar Athletic. Obviously it's a game I'm excited about. I'm excited to watch Redcar Athletic. They're absolutely flying at the minute, scoring goals for fun. They've only been beaten once in the league all season. So you look at it and think Northallerton probably have the work cut out, but obviously I've seen Northallerton a couple of times this season. I know how hard they're working, every game. Sometimes it comes off of them, sometimes it doesn't. But I just think, it's just Friday night under the lights. You'd think it'd be a big crowd there, and if Northampton could put in a performance to be proud of, I think that might just like sort of send out a real message to this whole town. This is what's right on your doorstep. Like you don't maybe
Exactly.
don't like if you can't get a ticket, to get the train up to Newcastle or down to Leeds or whatever, then just come watch this team. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. And I think obviously we ourselves at West End, like there'll be people there that maybe can't like financially get to Sunderland every week, or they just can't commit the time to it. If the message can get sort of more clear out there that it's there, and there's a lot more to it than just a match, then that hopefully would be something that in the long run could be almost become part of their routine.
Oh, fingers crossed. Evening, Imran. Hello, lads. Been to stand tonight, and under 18s lost 5 at a very good Gateshead. So, like I say, some cracking players in the Gateshead account, wasn't there? Like I say, it's a great setup. I know Ben Clark, and you never know, he might stay on. He's got a good links with that youth section as well, hasn't
he? Yeah. No, I think it's kind of good to have, obviously, going back to the Rob Elliott situation, I think it's good to have Clarkey on board for the time being, because I just think he's well liked at the club, he's well respected. He knows he knows the club from all angles. He knows how like the youth setup works, knows how the first team works. He knows like how the supporters work. Like he knows everything. So I think it's good to have him around. I think it'll settle everyone down. But so going back to the Gateshead youth team, obviously on Monday night we're going into the Durham Challenge Cup away at South Shields. Obviously, I'm guessing South Shields will field a pretty youthful side as well. But obviously, the night after South Shields, we're away to Tamworth, so it'll be very few, if any, players in or on the first team for us in that game. So it's maybe a chance to for those younger lads to show them, maybe what they can do in the full senior competition. So got some looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, getting on some other the leagues, obviously, and some of the sides in the North East. And I mean, I've just been looking at work when I've just been finishing work the last half an hour. No calls coming through, so I've just been looking through kind of the league tables and stuff. And I always do just kind of see what the movement's been like. But you kind of take out Gateshead, obviously Heaven, who's had a good start as well. But you look at the other teams. I mean, just kind of going through a few: Hartlepool down the league, Darlington, Shields, Spennymoor, obviously sitting 12, 14, 15, Pools 18th. Dropping down to the Northern Prem, you've got Stockton 13th, Morton 15th, Woodby 16th, Blythe down there on 20th, and even in the East as well, where we used to always see them, the teams in that top 4, and you've still got the Dunstan obviously pushing on at 7, but then you've got Heaton, Ashington, Newton Aycliffe, Constant Bishop come from 16th down. It's as obviously us loving the North East non-league scene, it's kind of quite strange to see the clubs as far down as what they are. We usually see them high up there, aren't we?
Yeah, but you got bear in mind we are still in October, and I still don't think the leagues have fully taken shape yet. And there's been some very, very strange results so far. You talk about Darlington there, maybe not pulling up any trees, but proving themselves hard to beat by looking at the results so far. You maybe feel that Shields could potentially have another game to go into. Blythe have been a strange one. I genuinely thought after what I saw them in pre-season, I was looking at them thinking, them finishing on 0 points and 40 whatever defeats it'd be for however many games we're playing the season. I thought it was a genuine possibility, but I watched them at Stockton the other week, and I thought they were absolutely outstanding in that game. It totally took me by surprise, but it just seemed to have once again regressed since that game. And I know there's a lot of unrest with the fans and what have you. I think there's a planned boycott of the weekend. I think Morpeth and Whitby are probably doing what you usually sort of see from them. The MPL East, I think it's always going to be quite a strange league, quite a tough league, because I think we're getting to a stage now where there's that many not northeast teams in it already. So it's natural quite a few of them are going to fall short and just not going to dominate all the time. But then again, you're getting some sort of decent teams going to that league, from the Northern Counties League and from the what is it, the United Counties League, something like whatever the one for the East Midlands is called. It's been like it's maybe been a bit of a slow burner for some clubs, but then again, you look at the likes of Heaton and Bishop and teams like that, like just gone up, so start having to adapt to extra travelling and things like that. These things take time, but then again, you look at Hebburn, they've I think they were up to third last night or something like that. So they've had a outstanding start. I mean, I never thought there'd been any trouble or anything, but I think even I'm like sort of pleasantly surprised by how well they actually are doing. So it's not like you might sort of look at the sales on the North East teams aren't doing much, but it's definitely not too bad. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, touching on Blythe, I know there's been a lot in the group today about the boycott and stuff as well, and it's crazy to think about it. Obviously, with Blythe Town doing so well now, and you never know, possibly getting promoted, there could be a derby next season in the pitch in East. It's crazy to think about how one's gone so high and one's gone so low, but you never know, it could happen. But another team from that I would just mention there, Dan, is obviously for myself looking at Hartlepool. I think the start of the season, obviously, the new manager came in, a few lads came in, but also a couple of local lads that came in. I thought, this might work for them. Not a bad start. I think it was the first couple of games, but it's just gone horribly wrong so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised when they appointed Darren Sal. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he didn't do a bad job at Woking or at Yeovil, but I think then again, it didn't. Like the end of his time at Woking, I think that's when it kind of went a little bit sort of south for him. And I was surprised to see him come this far north, to be honest. I thought with a calibre of players aside, I thought okay, they maybe won't pull up any trees, because I think regardless of who to bring in, I think there's always baggage at that club, and I think that a lot of that's to do with the ownership. I'm not going to lie. So I think it's a very difficult club to manage. I will say that, but you do wonder is how much more time can he actually borrow, because I think a lot of the fans are running out of patience, and I think I know we're only in October, but I think they can probably tell a lot by playing a pretty sort of bland style of football, and not clearly not creating much, because I don't think they've scored that many goals at all, have there? And maybe even at this early stage, you could say sleepwalking away into a relegation battle. So we're really regardless, they've got to do something about that sometime soon, because once the rot sets in, then it could be difficult for them to get out of it, because we've seen it with York. When they got in, obviously 2017, they ended up going down when it was probably unexpected. Scunthorpe a couple of years ago were the same. So you're certainly not immune to it, no matter what calibre of players you bring in, or your reputation as a football club at all. So they've got to sort something there.
Yeah, I think they've got a bit off the top of my head. Is it Brackley Town that they've got? I think at home. That would be a tough game, because they're a very strong side. And I think an FA Cup shot as well, that's literally the last thing that they need at the moment, because that could be, like you say, one of the final straws to get a manager out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely can be. I think, and if things were Brackley as well, then it's not as if they're just somehow found their way into the National North, and it'll be a 1 year thing. They've been there for years and years. They've been in the playoffs several times, had a couple of sort of pushes for the title. So there's definitely not going to be an easy game, that one. You watch Brackley sides, it always seems to be well drilled, well organised. So that is not the sort of tie I think Hartlepool would have wanted at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I mean, personally, I hope. I'd like them to stay up, but I just hope they're still in a bit of a rut come Boxing Day. Like they can do what they want after that. I'm not bothered. But
and on to the Northern League now as well. And like I say, anyone that's watching, please keep getting the comments in, your thoughts on what we're chatting about as well. It'd be great to have a bit of interaction as well. But getting on the Northern League Division 1, and I think from the big game last week, and obviously beating Borough Rangers, but hats off to Borough Rangers obviously for the start that they had. But I think now with that record, getting that win last week, the confidence, and I think you'll start seeing them now push on. That gap might open a little bit, but there's some great sides in there this season up there. Borough Rangers, Blythe Town, Crook. I know they haven't played as many games, but I know when I went to watch them in the FA Cup and they played Witton, and obviously division above, and I've expected a little bit more from Witton, but literally the way that Crook pressed the players, the player like we mentioned on the show the other night, a bit old school where the ball was going forward very quickly, long throw-ins, and Witton just couldn't cope with it. And I think when they're putting that in now, playing the Northern League Division 1, it seemed to work. And I know there's a big game at Kendal tonight. Anyone that knows the score, please get in the comments. I want to see what the score is on that one. But there's some great sides in that Northern League Division 1 this season, isn't there, Dan?
Absolutely, and I think the thing is, Redcar Athletic, there was a lot expected of them last season. I think there were chronic underachievers, and I think they know that they were, but they've really, they've really turned it around, and they're starting to put that right this year. It seems like it's absolutely flying. I mean, I think I checked their stats earlier. But played 16 games, only lost the one. I think they scored 50 goals. So. Yeah, there's a lot going right for them at the minute, but then again, we've seen it many times over the years where teams like come flying out of the traps at the start of the season, and it's maybe sort of dwindled for them. I don't think that'll be the case given the strength within the squad. I mean, I think they are going to have a couple of bumps in the roads along the way, because I think one thing about Division 1 this year, which maybe wasn't quite the case last year, I think every team is competitive. I think obviously Tower Law lost the first 12, 13 games or something daft like that, but then obviously got a point against Gisborne, went and beat Wickham. So obviously they've maybe improved. Obviously I know from what I've watched, Northallerton have definitely improves and being competitive in more games like that. So I think it's going to be one of those leagues where you're going to get where almost anyone can beat anyone. I mean, obviously there'll be games where you expect one team to win, but obviously that's never ever going to be guaranteed. I think that's kind of what will make it exciting. I think that's why it could be quite an open race, especially for the playoffs. I think we could have quite a tense relegation battle on our hands. So really looking forward to seeing how Division 1 pans out. Again, it'd be nice if this year at least one of our teams can have a decent run in the FA5s and get to Wembley. So I think we're probably a little bit overdue. Little bit overdue. That sort of thing. So so hopefully obviously don't follow support actually supporting the Northern League team in particular. So I'm just hoping that it can be pretty much non-stop drama right up until the very last kick of the playoff final.
Yeah, like I say, them playoffs are going to be exciting. But I think, as you mentioned there, Tower Law, I think the big Blue Star as well, 1-0, which is another massive result. And I think there's a couple of teams that were just above them thinking, it's fine, the bottom of the league, we're quite safe now. I think the likes of Seaham, I seem to really struggle more. I know I was speaking to a Seaham fan over the last few weeks, and even they say now they are worried. But it's going to be great, isn't it? It's going to be towards the end of the last couple of weeks where someone might nick them playoff spots, someone might nick that final position to go down. It'll be interesting to kind of see what the FA do as well. I know obviously Kendall's came across and joined us this year. We had Mars drop in. If how many might get relegated as well. It always leave at the last minute, though, isn't it? It's quite a worry for clubs.
Yeah, and I think we've said it many times on these shows that the uncertainty after the season finished really doesn't help anyone. I think the do from the FA, across leagues, across the whole country, need to be more transparent about it, about what is required to go up or to stay up, and just sort of stop all this sort of sitting in limbo for weeks and weeks, wondering what league you're going to be in. And then I think just everyone can sort of plan for next season, for obviously next season, it might be the case again that one of our teams has to move across into has to do a lateral movement, or like a team from maybe the Counties League or the North West Counties League has to move into ours. Like you really don't know, but I think regardless, once all leagues are finished, like I think even before it, like the FA should have a rough idea of what needs to happen for the following season, so it is fair for everyone involved up and down the country.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, Division 2 as well, which again has been a cracking start so far in that season. I mean, one of the dark horses, well, not dark horses, but a team that's kind of got under the radar, and they've obviously the start of the season, Esh has been doing brilliant, Jarrah, a few other clubs, but I think Horden over the last few weeks have kind of just gone very quietly about the job. I think they were 3-0 up before I came on the show tonight. I don't think Jack Pounder scored. I think he's on our bench, the North East Non-League show sponsor. The amount of publicity that we've had of him the last few weeks, I think he scores 2 or 3 every game. Got man of the match last week, so we've been mentioned a lot on the Horden page, so it's been brilliant. But I think personally, now looking at it and how far we're into the season, or only kind of 12, 13 games, but I think Horden's going to be really one of those teams up there who's going to challenge the league. I think they've got the players to do it this year. I mean, what's your thoughts on Division 2?
Yeah, it's been weird so far for me in Division 2 because I've seen quite a few games, but I seem to pick all the stinkers. Like I've just, I think Darlington Town against Alnwick aside, like all the games I've been to in Division 2 have ended up being pretty terrible watch. I'm not gonna lie, and don't mean to sound disrespectful to any of the clubs that I have seen. It's just the games themselves haven't been particularly great. But I think, as I said, I think in July, like one of the teams I was quite impressed with from what I'd seen in pre-season was Yarmouth Eaglescliff, and I think they're doing quite well so far, which doesn't surprise me in any way. Like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect Jarrow to be as high as they are. Didn't expect Esh winning to be up there, but fair play to both of those sides. But I think I was saying it to I think it was Quinny I was saying to when I went to Chester Street Town back in July. I think we just got into the subject of what Division 2 was going to be like. And I think we both agreed that it was going to be highly open this season. I think it was going to be like one of those where it was maybe quite hard to predict. And I think it's proven that way so far. Like obviously, we just talk about Jarrah and Esh winning there. Like maybe two sides that at best you would have thought are probably mid-table. I don't know. Obviously, there's a couple of teams probably struggling a little bit just now, like Bolden's, Washington's, what have you. Yeah. But even they're getting the odd result here and there. So I think it is going to be, quite open. I think it'll stay that way till the very end, and much like Division 1. I think we could be getting towards the last few weeks of the season, and we'll probably do one of these shows in like March, April time. We'll be sort of talking, sort of playing out different scenarios and what it could mean.
Definitely, but no, 100% agree with beating everyone, because honestly, some of the games I've beaten with West End this season, like I say, winning in the first game of the season, playing some great football, and then getting beat a couple of games, going to Billingston Thonia. Absolutely, I think it was 2-1 or 3-1 that night. I think, wow, we're going to do well. Then you go and get beat 6-0 for Uni, beating Bedlington at home, and go away getting beat at some strange games that I've beaten so far for the West End. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic, Dan. I know, like you said, by the time we're on the next show, it probably all changed around. Chance to be new sides up there challenging. But that's why we do this, don't we? Just absolutely love the non-league scene, don't we?
Yeah, it is absolutely great. And, so I've got quite a few big non-league games come over the next month or so. I'll see. It'd be interesting to watch Gateshead on Saturday. Begin life without Rob Elliott, and obviously in a game that isn't in some ridiculous Mickey Mouse competition set up by the National League. Then obviously see some of the younger lads at South Shields on the trip down to Tamworth on Tuesday. To repeat the FA Trophy final at the end of the month. So there's some big games coming up, and I'll have to miss a couple because of work commitments and family events and what have you. But that's I can't do anything about that. So then as well, the couple of games like like no, a couple of Northern League games. I think we were saying off air, obviously about Bolton against West End, which is coming up on a Friday night in a couple of weeks. Dunstan against Eton Stan, which should be a cracking game for the region in NPL East. I think week later, Eton Stan against Sheffield. I think Crook against Blue Star, which has got. I think that got on pencil in, which has got potential to be a really tasty game, like given how both sides are doing at the minute. So it's all coming on the channel and as well. Like if you like watching me in Scotland or abroad or whatever, like there's plenty of that to come over the season as well.
No, lots going on. But like I say again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please get across the Dance channel, as we always mention. Please subscribe, and please subscribe to our channel as well. Like we say, we just absolutely love what we do for the North East Non-League show, the scene, sorry. And like you say, we're just trying to push and help clubs as much as we can. Get the team out there, and just daft little things where we're posting in the group, or if we're posting a vlog of the games. Just please keep sharing it for us, because it might just help that club so much as well. I know tomorrow night we've got Nashi on from Newcastle Blue Star. Be interested to talk to him about the season so far as well. So tune in for that at 9:10 as well. But Dan, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot, and don't forget to vote for DB30 Sports TV in the Best in the League video category at the Football Content Awards.
Definitely, no, but Dan, honestly, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it'll be the year. But yeah, keep getting in the group. Like you say, we'll try and get as many votes as we can for you as well.
Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been good to do this. It's been a while, and I'm sure not quite as long until the next one.
Definitely. But again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye-bye.